All right, everybody, welcome to Twister Trimmer's first ever Instagram Live. We're gonna give it a couple minutes for people to join in, and then we're gonna go through the T6. All right, guys, we're gonna give it a couple more minutes here, just let people get in here, and then we're gonna get going. All right, guys, welcome back to our first ever Instagram Live. We're gonna be walking through the T6 here. So the T6 is one of our smaller units. It is meant for home growers and small cultivators. It's gonna do around 2 to 5 pounds an hour of dry flower and around 10 to 18 of wet flower. The reason there is that variable is due to bud density. So say you have a more larvae strain, that obviously will be less weight. That will be going through the trimmer. If it's nice and dense, then obviously that's gonna be more weight on the output. So this is a single piece flow trimmer. So what that means is basically how I explain it is one handful in, kind of one handful out. So you'd have the tumbler fairly full, a nice steady stream going through, and then once you put another handful in, then buds will exit on this side. Basically, it's fully customizable, so you can run it flat. We don't recommend that. You do want a bit of an incline to start out, especially if you were doing dry. So basically, what the beauty is of a single piece flow machine is it allows you to kind of dial in your trim as you go. Especially if you're switching up strains, you might have a little time to play around with the settings on this. So basically, yeah, fully customizable in that way on the angle. Back here, we have this, which is the vacuum bypass. So this allows you to control the suction from the leaf collector here. So this connects to the back here. Let's see if we got any questions going here. Supremacy Flowers, appreciate the love there, guys. Make sure if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We will get to all the questions. Now let's go through a little breakdown here. Do I need different tumblers for the T6? No, you don't. Let's pull this out actually, just to give you guys a better look at it. Put that down there. So the T6, this tumbler does both wet and dry flower. We call it the extreme tumbler. The reason we call it that is it is the same slot size as our standard tumbler, but smaller like metal in between the slots. So it's gonna give you, it's 12% less metal than our standard tumbler and about 25% less than competitors on the market. Who else is going on here? Surfing OKC, does it work on mids? Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much get it to work on whatever kind of flower you are trimming. Like I was saying before, the kind of customization of it with the angle, the leaf collector bypass back there, and obviously feed rate as well comes into that. So yeah, and to touch on the tumbler, just talk a little bit about the size here. I've seen in the past a lot of people going, why is the tumbler so small? Well, it's designed like that. Basically, on a small cutting surface with a single blade, you want the buds to be nice and tight to where the cutting is occurring, which is the blades below. So for example, if you have a bigger tumbler, your buds are gonna kind of be flowing all over the place. With this tumbler, it keeps it nice and tight, basically right down where the cutting occurs. So you're gonna get a nice kind of wave, I would say, of flower right on the blades there. And that's why we designed the tumbler that way. What controls the tumbler speed? Kevin Long. Okay, perfect. So this one how this works, on the T6, it is one set speed. It does not have variable speed at the moment. So the tumbler locks in. It's a belt drive on this end. Let me show you here. So it is all one system basically. The control box has a pulley on here. The belt goes to the pulley on the blade. And on this end of the blade, there's gears that the tumbler then locks into. And that is what controls the speed of the tumbler. Where's the batch one? Oh, how easy is the tumbler to clean? Okay, Liam Malloy 84, hope I pronounced that right. Super easy. Basically what I do, I get a 5-gal bucket, a tote, whatever really, and fill it with Simple Green and hot water. What you do then, drop this into the solution, let it sit for, like usually I do 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, if you let it sit longer, then you might have to increase that time. And then after that, I get a sponge or, basically a sponge. I like that the most, and scrub it out and then rinse it, and then I sanitize it with isopropyl alcohol. Okay, we got some more Sinister Genetics. Where's the batch one? We got the batch one right behind us actually. So we can take a look at that after if you want to. And then we got Power Creations. What does a size like that run, brother? So this will do, and then we got another one down below. Dry per hour, wet per hour, perfect. Okay, we can touch back on that. So this will do, the T6 will do around 2 to 5 pounds an hour of dry flower and around 10 to 18 of wet. The reason there is that variability, again, is bud density. If you have some really larvae stuff, it's not gonna be as much weight on the exit end. What coating do you use on your tumbler? Quick answer, we don't use coatings. Everybody, we have played around with it in the past. What we found is they break down. Everybody has a non-stick pan at home that is chipping away, and you obviously don't want that in your flower. What we decided to go with is 304 stainless steel. So this is food grade stainless. It's used in like kitchens, food factories, that sort of thing. So all food safe. The product path is all 304 stainless, so you're clear there. And also on the other end, below the tumbler, we have nitrided blades. So this is where the cutting occurs, is the helix blade and the bed knife. Nitrided blades is basically a hardening process. So it hardens the steel, and then we do a black oxide coating on it. So that's to prevent rust. In the past, there have been companies there still are companies with painted blades. Obviously, the fear with that is paint chips off, gets into your flower. Nobody wants to smoke that. It's not a good time. Do we have any other ones here? Batch one go, question mark, question mark, question mark. Logic Glass, we don't have one in, do we have one in the building? We can pull it out for you next time. Let's do that next week. Does it have the Chicamasa tumbler option? I'm not sure I understand what that is. If you can elaborate a little bit, I can definitely help you out on that. Trim catching and separation. Perfect. Yeah, let's move back here to the leaf collector. So we walk through this. So how this works, hose connects to the back of the trimmer. This is a motor here. There's an impeller in here, which spins, creates the suction. And you do need the suction to get a good trim. The suction is gonna keep the flower, again, in the base of the tumbler where the cutting occurs. So trim comes through here, goes through there, and into these collection bags here. So we can pull these off as well. On here we have a 40 micron bag, which is the outer bag, a 70 micron bag, and then a 300 micron bag. So this will get pretty much all of your trim. These are more for keef and finer particulates. Nobody likes a dusty room when you're trimming or working. So that's the design there. What else do we have coming in here? ETA on the go. It is looking right now around the beginning of December for shipping to retailers. So if you haven't got on the pre-order list, I would suggest doing so. Shikimasa is a Japanese company for fine scissors. I don't know how to, yeah, we don't have the Shikimasa. Well, I would say if it's a fine company, then this is the equivalent to those in a trimmer, but I'm not really sure how to answer that one. What is the pricing on the T6 and what is the warranty? So the T6 comes in at $4,260 USD. So that includes the unit that you see here and the leaf collector. So everything you need to get rolling. And, oh, warranty, right. Okay, warranty on the T6 is a 3-year standard warranty. Our support department, I can't say enough good things about these guys. If you have an issue, they are getting back to you under an hour or less, so big ups to them. Optimal flower dryness. Perfect. So we recommend when trimming dry between 10 to 13% moisture content. That's pretty much our tried and true on that for our throughput machines. With the batch style trimmers, people do tend to go a little lower, but yeah, 10 to 13% for the T6 and T4, T2. Customer service on 1,000. Appreciate it, Piggy Clone Co. Thank you. All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions at the moment, we will wrap it up here. Make sure to check back. Actually, let's continue a little bit. Let's do a breakdown real quick. How do you check the dryness? We use moisture meters. So it's, I can send out the link to anybody who needs that. But basically it is a wooden moisture reader. You stick that into the bud, gives you the reading on your end. Does it have different size tumbler screens as far as opening size? Yep, that makes sense. I see what you're saying there. No, with the T6 and the design of the tumbler being like the diameter that it is, we really wanted to dial it in to do both wet and dry with this tumbler. So it is one standard tumbler for this, or as we call the extreme tumbler. But yeah, we did have different tumbler slot sizes for this in the past. What we found that with the diameter being small, we needed to maximize the coverage, or not the coverage I should say, but the openings for your flower to be trimmed through. So that's why we went with this design. What else do we have here? Can't decide between T6 and mini batch 1. You know, it is kind of, it's up to your workflow. If you like to be able to kind of adjust things as you run QC as it's coming out, then I would recommend the T6 with the batch 1 go. Obviously it is, I mean, you can operate this with one person, but yeah, the batch 1 go, you can set it, go do other things around your grow. It kind of just depends, yeah, your workflow and what you prefer. Joyflora_farm. Can I buck and run straight into this? Do I need to separate water leaves? So I would recommend removing any large fan leaves. But other than that, yeah, you can buck it straight into it. You could go right into the hopper if you wanted to. Okay, let's do a quick breakdown. We'll let a couple more questions flow in. So I'll start it from the top here. Reassemble, and then we will get the questions. Again, this thing is super easy to break down. 30 seconds or less if you've done it before. Super easy. No tools required either. Okay, so let's start from the top. First off, lid. Second, tumbler pops out like that. Shoot there. Flip these up to remove the bed knife. Take the belt guard off there. And then on the back here, there is a locking mechanism, this guy here. To loosen that off, tilt the control box forward, remove the belt, pull the blades out, and then obviously removable control box. Super important for cleaning. Yeah, remove that, and that's pretty much the breakdown of it. So once you kind of get a hang of it, you can rip through that fast. And yeah, the importance of the removable control box. Obviously, electronics don't like water. You don't want to have to pressure wash this thing or clean this thing with a control box on it. I've seen people in the past covering control boxes up with bags. That's not really safe in my mind, so we designed it with a removable one. And do we have anything else? How hard to clean the blades? Super simple. So very similar to what I do with tumbler. So for the bed knife, what I would do, first off, I usually take like a paint scraper or an X-Acto knife and just clean off any buildup on the bottom. Same thing with the front, and then I spray it generously with Simple Green, which is a natural degreaser. Let that sit, let that soak for a minute or two, and then usually just sponge it off. And then always, I do a rinse after Simple Green, spray with ISO, and give that a wipe down. And same thing with the Helix blade. I have in the past put these guys in kind of a Simple Green water mixture bath. One thing you do want to keep an eye on that is the gears over here. So once these are clean, give them a little blast out with compressed air, dry it off with a rag. It is good practice to keep these dry. Okay, can you run this in a tandem system? Yes. So these can all of our throughput trimmers, like the T6, T4, T2, those can all be run in tandem and even triples. So with the T6, super easy to do. Unfortunately, we don't have another T6 here at the moment, but if you check on our Instagram feed, we did post a picture the other day. So just imagine this though, you have another T6, lift this up slightly, that plate is going to connect it to the other T6, and how that works, over here, if you had this here is going to latch in that plate. So just imagine there were two T6s here. I hope that cleared it up for you. Okay, anything else coming through? Anybody else got any questions here? Okay, if not, now we will wrap it up. Thank you for joining our first Instagram Live. We're gonna start doing a lot more of this stuff. Come back next Friday, and we do have, is there a trim quality difference between a throughput versus a batch trimmer? No, I wouldn't say so. You know, with the throughput, it is a little bit, like, you can dial it in as you're going. With the batch style, you would have to kind of play around with timing on that. So specific strains, different timing on run times for that. Okay, any last questions? I don't think so. I think we're good on that. Okay, now we're wrapping it up. We will be back next Friday. We'll walk through the T4 for you guys. So if you guys have any questions about that, come ready. And also, if you do have any questions following this live, make sure to shoot us a message, leave a comment. We'd love to be in contact with you.